Hello and welcome, my friends, to Turn 1 Sol Ring. With the advent of Modern Horizons, a lot of new commanders entered our format. So, let's just crack right into them and start out with the Master Phyrexia himself, Yawgmoth, Thran Physician. But first, we need to open a Booster Pack for Hope. Booster Pack for Hope is a new introductory segment to all of my videos where I'm going to open a pack of magic cards before every video, show off the cards in the pack, and then as soon as I finish filming that video, I'm going to sell the rare and any cards worth $1 or more from that pack on eBay. As soon as the cards sell on eBay, I'm going to take the money that those cards made and donate it to a different charity each month. This month's charity is St. Jude's Children's Hospital, which has done magnificent work helping kids with cancer and charges the families of those kids exactly $0 for their hospital stay. And if you want to help pick the next charity for August 2019, you can vote on the Turn 1 Sol Ring Facebook page. There will be a poll pinned to the top of the page. So, let's crack into this, shall we? Just bought this pack from Walmart, I think, yesterday, so here we go. Well, that's a little bit of whatever. Alright, there we go. First pack for Booster Pack for Hope. Alright, so we got an On-Crop Invader, a War Screecher, Ashiok Skulker. Really liked Ashiok in this set, by the way. Spark Reaper, which that could be an interesting card. Forced Landing. Banehound, which is probably one of the best cards in this set at common. Giant Growth, the staple of our game. Topple the Statue. Callous Dismissal. Alright, now we're getting into the uncommons. Dread Malkin is our first one, and ooh, that's really nice. That's really nice. I like that one. God Pharaoh's Statue. That's actually a really good card. Ooh, Saheeli Sublime Artificer. Now that looks really nice. And ooh, our rare is Awakening of Vitu-Ghazi, and we did get a foil, Martyr for the Cause. So this card and any other card worth $1 or more in this pack, as soon as I finish filming this video, straight on eBay, will be sold, and the money that this card makes will go straight to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So, we got and if you're wondering for the token and the land, we got a forest and a soldier token. Alright, so on to Yawgmoth. Looking at Yawgmoth, he's definitely an interesting creature. Protection from humans isn't going to be too relevant in most EDH games, but his other two effects are. The second one allowing us to use -1/-1 counters and turn Yawgmoth into a card draw engine, and then the third effect is probably one of the most powerful words in Magic on it, Proliferate. Now, there are a couple of ways one can play this. The two most obvious ways are Aristocrats and Infect. If you're a fan of the MTG story, then you know this is essentially what Yawgmoth did to the Thran. The original Phyrexians are the converted Thranians. Thranis? People. I definitely recommend reading the Thran book in the MTG story. It's $4 for the ebook version of it, so check it out if you have a few bucks to spend. But back to the card game, shall we? I'm going to be looking at pieces for both an Aristocrats build of Yawgmoth and an Infect build of Yawgmoth. And so let's start with the Aristocrats build, and no better way to start than with the staples of the format with Blood Artist, Ashnod's Altar, and one of my favorite cards, Skull Clamp, which is going to be a very necessary draw engine for us, as black doesn't really have a whole lot of card draw by itself. So, these cards are going to be great, and another card that's going to be great is Black Market, which will, as we start sacrificing things, really give us a lot of mana to build a great board with. Speaking of sacrificing things, here are some good repeatable sacrifice fodder for us. Reassembling Skeleton, Butcher Ghoul, and Giralf's Messenger. With Yawgmoth, we can cancel out the Undying +1/+1s to keep constantly bringing back Butcher Ghoul and Giralf's Messenger. And Giralf's Messenger is definitely something we want to keep bringing back because his ability to drain our opponent. 2 damage isn't much, but compiled over a game could bring someone into lethal range for the table. Some things that help us make sacrifice fodder are Endrek Sar, Master Breeder, who will make plenty of tokens for us, Nests of Scarabs, who feed off of Yawgmoth putting on his -1/-1s, Ophiomancer, whose tokens we can use as blockers if need be, Abhorrent Overlord, who gives us flying tokens, and Hangerback Walker, who will benefit fondly off of us proliferating its +1/+1 counters, which will, in turn, become sacrifice fodder when it dies. A couple of other cards to consider are Mikaeus the Unhallowed, who gives everything we control Undying, which will heavily benefit us, especially as we can essentially give our creatures a long-form version of Indestructible by canceling out the +1/+1 counters Undying gives the creatures when it comes back, and Orochi Hatchery, which we can use to make tokens, and it's similar to Hangerback Walker in that we can increase the amount of tokens that it makes. Now over to the wide world of Infect. Normally, I rather dislike Infect as a mechanic, as I feel most players in our game do. However, a Yawgmoth Infect deck works thematically and flavor-wise for me, so I don't mind it as much. So, crack out all your favorite Mirrodin Infect cards. Here are some I have in my notes. Plague Stinger, Ecor Rats, Core Prowler, Hand of the Praetors, Phyrexian Crusader, and the Reaper of Sheoldred. All of these are fantastic Infect cards, and while these are all from New Phyrexia, they are Phyrexians nonetheless, and Lord Yawgmoth would be proud. I will say that the old school poison counter creatures should not be overlooked for this deck either. Cards like Swamp Mosquito and Suk'Ata Assassin are both pretty valuable for this deck. I don't normally recommend lands because mana bases can get expensive, but one that might be worth shelling out the dough for would be Inkmoth Nexus, which would help get the poison counters on quickly. I would argue that procuring the Nexus would make your deck start to float into the competitive, but that's a conversation you should have with your play group. So both decks are very powerful in their own right, and both strategies have some very similar cards in them. Cards like Liliana Dreadhorde General, whose abilities are all great. Jet Medallion, because who doesn't like playing things ahead of curve? Bolus's Citadel, because playing a bunch of things quickly is great. Bantu's Monument makes our creatures cheaper and drains our opponent, and Karn's Bastion gives us another source of proliferate, because a little redundancy goes a long way. And that was So You're Building for Yawgmoth Thran Position. Did I leave any cards out? Or did I not explore an avenue that seemed rather obvious to you? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, please like the video, and if you want to help support the channel, please consider sharing the video and subscribing. It helps the channel grow, and the more the channel grows, the more content I'll be able to bring to you. If you want to help support Booster Pack for Hope, please consider going over to the Facebook page and voting for which charity you would like to see the cards go to next month. If you want to send a pack to Booster Packs for Hope, please send them to Turn 1 Soul Ring, P.O. Box 291616, Columbia, South Carolina 29229. And, as always guys, have a good one.